Hey guys, what's up? We're back for another weekly discussion. This time we're actually filming in the evening. Normally when I film these it's in the morning, about 6 in the morning on my way into work. Right now I'm on my way home. I was out at my parents' house where the Triumph Spitfire is, if you've seen any of those videos. I was working on some of the body work and it's proving to be very, very tedious. And there's not that much body work to do because like I showed you, I got the paintless dent repair guys to do that kind of stuff. I had something on my mind right now that I wanted to cover for this week's weekly discussion, and so I wanted to shoot it now before I forget or think of something else, because I generally try to plan these out so I have a couple of them thought of in advance, and this just kind of popped in my head because it's based on what happened today, so I got a good one for you. This week's weekly discussion could kind of pertain to anything you're doing, not necessarily automotive, but I've learned kind of in the automotive field, this is a very extreme case of this, but I've learned that you really got to be able just to tell yourself, you know, I'm going to take a step back, I'm going to control the things that I can control, and I'm not going to worry about the rest, because it's not worth being stressed out about it. And there's stuff in every job, and I'm not trying to say like being an automotive technician is the hardest job in the world, because this happens in all other professions, but in the automotive industry it's really easy for stuff beyond your control to affect a job. It's a machine, stuff breaks all the time. All right. Second, parts. Maybe you get the wrong parts. Maybe they're on back order. Maybe the parts truck dropped it off at the wrong dealership. All sorts of stuff can happen, and you got to learn just to like de-stress some of that, because it'll get you nowhere, and it'll make you counterproductive. I know, like when I first started tinkering on cars just on my own, not even professionally, and I used to get so pissed off when something wouldn't go right. And you got to remember, a lot of times, like we talked in the DIY video, when you're tinkering on stuff, you don't have the best tools, you don't have all the resources, so of course stuff's going to be a lot more frustrating. Now, alright, so on to the story. Last week, before the 4th of July, so people have kind of planned their vacations and their time out away from the shop, we had a really nice couple come in, and I remember I got there in the morning and I saw a Dodge camper, like an RV, all right, like a 2500 Dodge camper van, and I was like, oh my god, and I kind of laughed thinking, you know, there's no way I'm gonna get stuck in this. You'd think. So anyway, it goes on, the story progresses, and they were having transmission problems, and the technician that gets it, one of my coworkers, gets it, and he literally couldn't put it in drive to go. He had to put it in one. And if you power braked it at all, you know, so you step on the brake, step on the gas, you could just hear, it sounded like someone had put a bunch of bolts in a coffee can. It was just shaking it. And you could smell the burnt clutch material and burnt transmission fluid. And you could just smell it in the air. All right? And long story short, this couple is from like across the country. I don't remember exactly where they were, but they were like 2,000 miles from home, and they were just traveling around, and it just so happened that the good old state of North Dakota was the last place, like the last state for them to visit all the states. So their van, the transmission is shot, it's toast, it's donezo. So long story short, the technician that was working on it didn't have time to pull that transmission out, and as you can imagine, they're kind of on a time crunch. They want to get home, so he was going to be gone Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday was the 4th of July. I was going to be gone Thursday, Friday. So he wasn't going to have time to pull this transmission out. So my boss comes back and goes, Jarrett, you're taking the transmission out of a camper. So anyway, I get going, and we work at Toyota, right? This is a Dodge camper. So anyway, we bring this Dodge in, and none of our lifts are set up for that. We have one old 4-post that's meant for our aftermarket guys. They do accessories and lift kits and Astro Start, stuff like that. So they're having a cow, and I spend like a half an hour trying to figure out how to lift this on one of the normal lifts, and it just ain't gonna happen. So I put it on the 4-post, and then I'm told that I'm gonna take the transmission out. They're gonna give it to one of their training guys at Dodge. He's gonna rebuild it. Then we're gonna ship it back, and I'm gonna put it back in and send them on their merry way. Okay. Well, so I said, well, how do we know this is even going to fix it? I have a really strong belief that the rebuild kit with new clutch packs and stuff is not going to fix this transmission. I think something is ultra broke. Okay? So of course no one's going to listen to me, and I'm like, all right, whatever. again, this goes into that thing, control what you can control. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting paid to take it out, put it back in. I'm not going to worry about the rest of it. So I take it out, send it over there. And then I was driving around in town the other night, running some errands, and I went by the dealership, and I could see that van still sitting in there. Well, it was supposed to get the transmission back, and when I was on vacation Thursday, Friday, the original technician that diagnosed it was going to put it back in. Also, I thought that's really odd. Something must have been broken. So fast forward to today, which is Monday, the following week, I get to work, and we go over to Dodge to find out that the transmission was grenaded apart inside. Surprise, surprise. They haven't even completed the rebuild yet because this thing is like grenaded. Now we're really stuck. So now what's going to end up happening is on Wednesday they were able to find a transmission, and for some reason these transmissions, 2500 transmission in this gasser camper van, they won't ship them. Like, no company will ship these things. So the service manager of our Dodge store is driving to pick this thing up. Then he's coming back, giving it to me. I'm going to put it in, and hopefully they're on the road Wednesday night, if all goes smoothly. Now, so through this whole experience, and like I said, when I first started working on cars, like just tinkering on cars, I shouldn't say when I first started because I'm still starting. But when I first got interested in cars and really started getting my hands dirty a little bit, I got so frustrated, and it just makes your problems worse. You get mad, and it just makes it worse. So I remember I was already a little irritated that I had received to me this camper van project, and I just remember I took a step back and I was like, you know what? It's not going to help anything. Let's just get it done. And that really helped. Taking it out was really smooth. And then I could feel myself today just kind of getting worked up a little bit about this bump in the road. You know, I feel bad for these people that are now stranded even longer than they had expected. And I was getting frustrated with the lack of communication and the fact that we split up this project to begin with. Why didn't it just all go to Dodge? Why are we doing half and they doing half? And I just had to remind myself again to just take a step back and to really just remember, you know, that negative energy that I'm feeling isn't going to help. You know, whether that be this project or that be getting the wrong parts or that be misdiagnosing something, a customer coming in late for their appointment, any of those scenarios in this industry where it's going to make your job a little tougher, guess what? You're going to make your own job tougher by getting worked up about it. So I think you really have to try in this field. There's so many things that can happen. There's so many things that can go wrong. You really have to try hard to just remember that the better attitude you have, no matter how crappy the situation is, the better it's going to be. All right, and I realize, guys, I'm sorry about the lighting and all that sort of stuff. This isn't normally when I shoot these videos, but it was in my head, it was fresh in my head, and I really wanted to share that with you guys. So again, just to recap, the whole point of this week's weekly discussion was just control the things that you can control in your job. Do your best. Do the best job that you can do. Be the best technician that you can be. Try your best. Don't be afraid to ask for help, but just make the best out of every situation. And I realize you're going to have bad days. I have days where I get pissed off. I'm not perfect. I get pissed off more often when I'm at work than I care to admit, but I try to keep that as one of my core values when I'm working. Is I try to remember in the back of my head that if I'm angry, I'm upset, it's just going to make the quality of my work and my efficiency go down. So, control the things you can control. What are some things that you do to try to stay positive as a technician when you're working and maybe stuff isn't going quite the way that you had hoped? Let me know down in the comment section below. Hit that like button, subscribe. See you next week.